That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy Fine is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy Fine is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And you know it, I'm always coming to you live from that ice.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. Their website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
That's right. As always, shout out to all my great sponsors. Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. It is nice and sunny out there. The grass is going to start growing. Actually, one of my neighbors already cut his grass, which I'm like, it just stopped raining. But anyway, if you want your grass cut or if you want your yard cleaned up or any landscape materials like mulch, rock, anything like that, paper patios done, retaining walls, anything, give Priority Lawn and Landscaping a call. Also, shout out to Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend it. Give them yours. And Moorline Lager House, which is got a new name. They are the Lager House of Cincinnati. So make sure you check them out. I will be getting up the logo here, hopefully here tomorrow. But what is up with everybody in the chat? Let's see here. Who was in here first? We've got Strangers in there. Brad's in there. PF 2000 with Holmes is in there. Josh is in there. Tony Blazin. The Jungle Podcast. Matt, Greg Graves. Mon is in there. Wow, we got a lot of people. Christopher's in there. And Stranger already said you. The Bearcats won today. If you guys did not pay attention to that, they won their first round of the Big 12 tournament, 73-66. One down. I think they need at least two more to go to pretty solidify their chances of getting into the NCAA tournament. They take on, I think it's BYU tomorrow at 3:00. I know Brad will be in the chat. Tell me which team for sure. But I know it's at 3:00 tomorrow. Third game they got to play would probably be Arizona. That's going to be a kind of tough team to beat, but it ain't over yet. Day 2 of Bengals free agency. So far, nothing's happened yet that I know of. We'll see what's going on. And AC, the Godfather, is in there. What's up, brother? I can send you a link, AC. You can join too if you want, because I'm still waiting for Bengals Captain. He hasn't joined yet. He is still in Arizona on vacation. But I'm going to play Bengals Captain's intro because I like the intro. But we have somebody from across the pond joining us today. He is very excited to be a Bengals fan. He's very excited about the Bengals. And, well, hopefully he's excited about what they did. Let's find out. It's Paul from Bengals UK. What's up, Paul?
Hello, Jeff. How you doing? First time I've ever had an intro from Bengals Captain. I'm happy to stand in or be Bengals Captain. I need a couple of years to grow. I've got the mutton chops, but I need to grow the beard a little bit. But
I got all these new intros and stuff, and my producer the guy who helps me out do all these, he's on vacation, so I didn't get a chance to make you a nice, cool new
No,
intro.
it's cool,
So
man. I'm
let's
happy
do-
to be here, Jeff. It's good to see you.
Hey,
And it's
appreciate
been too
it.
long. How have you been?
Yes, sir.
I have to say, I've been watching. I was watching your sponsors, especially the gardening. You know, the guys who did the gardening, because
Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Yeah.
yeah. I know this is an NFL podcast, so I said American football. How very British of me. But when is the earliest that you've ever cut your grass in a year?
Me, the earliest?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm contemplating doing mine.
It would be in March. It would be March would be the earliest. It depends. Like right now, we've had nothing but snow and then rain here. So my backyard is a freaking swamp. So if I were to cut anything, it'd be the front yard. But if the sun keeps staying out here for well, I'd say probably next week. I might start cutting it next week. But I try to hold off.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But you know, I don't even cut my grass anymore. I pay Priority Lawn and Landscaping to take care of it for me. So I'm that guy. I am so that old to do that. Plus, I am playing hurt today, man. I pitched my sciatic nerve out a while, a couple of days ago, and man, it's killing me today. I'm literally sitting here. I'll show you what I got in my pocket. I have.
Hey, you need to hook up with some masseurs in Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, I'm getting massage right now. I got the electrical tension on my back right now. So if I look like I'm moving stiff, there's a reason for it. But so I try not to do a whole lot of physical stuff if I don't have to. It just hurts. But Paul, with that being said, how excited are you about what the Bengals did yesterday, and what are you hoping they'll do today?
Well, sorry, I'm just like internally responding to Jack Rick in the comments, who says Paul sort of reminds me of Robert Shaw, aka Quint from Jaws. I'll take it. I've been called worse. So, but yeah, to answer your question, already gone off on various tangents here, so I apologise to everyone who tuned in, expecting some incisive analysis. But excited. Yes, I would also say heartened as well. I'm literally in the middle of editing our podcast Cincinnati, and that'll be out a bit later on today. And the word I used was heartened. I kept seeing that pretty much every player that I, kind of was interested in, Rashawn Gary, Jonathan Franklin Myers, Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Bengals were in play. That was the phrase that stuck in my head. Were right. So there seemed to be a lot of intent there, which is great. But in terms of actually the actual signings, I mean, Brian Cook was arguably the best safety in this free agency class.
Yes.
So, former Bearcat, a lot of tick marks there, a lot of check marks there. So really happy with him. Should complement Jordan Battle quite nicely. Boye Mafe, interesting one. Again, you'd probably have to say up there. I didn't really consider him a target. How weird is this, right? We tend to kind of alter our expectations and level of players that we think the Bengals will go for because we just don't think they're that aggressive, right?
Right.
So
I did. Our hearts broken too many times is why.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah. So I didn't think Mafe was on the table because I'd heard that he wanted to sign back with the Seahawks, and he might just be that sort of tier above where we kind of operate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there we are. I mean, they paid quite handsomely for Brian Cook, and they paid relatively handsomely for Boye Mafe. So I don't think you can argue with that. The only thing about I think Cook is a really good surefire signing, as much as it can be with these things. But Mafe, I've got a mate who is a Seahawks fan who told me that Mafe is a good player when he wants to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I've heard that too.
He has a tendency.
Did you hear that about Trey too? A lot of stuff.
I was going to get onto that. Really, I mean, my mate was saying that there was no way that the Seahawks were going to sign him for $20 million a year. Whatever. That's the APPV. But no way the Seahawks were going to sign him at that price. Quite when he's good, he's good, quite inconsistent, disappears in games occasionally. And but as I say, when he's good, he's good. So this is the next step up for him. So it is a risk, but like you said, Jeff, it was the same with Trey a few years back. He was the knock on him was that he's got some sacks, but is that down to the fact that he's sort of hidden behind all these other guys and he just kind of steams in there? So Maffei is a really interesting signing. I think he's got all the physical traits. He's got sort of violent hands, apparently. And
was that your Bruce Lee impersonation there?
Violent hands. Listen, it was a good, solid first day. It addressed some needs. I think everyone in this chat and yourself will acknowledge that there's a long way to go.
Yeah, we still
a lot
got
more to do.
Here,
and
sure.
As one geezer said in the chat there, do you know what I mean? It's been quiet so far.
Yeah.
And I agree with Josh Holland there. We need a linebacker, Chanel or Canadian.
Exactly.
Anyway, what about you, Jeff? What did you think of yesterday? Were you
let me get to this super chat here real quick before I don't want to pass it up on here.
Sure.
So Fuzzy Balls, thanks for $10 super chat here. Anyone seeing DJ Reader lost a step is completely full of crap. DJ was double teamed more than any player in the NFL, 58% of the snaps. Teams would double team him so much if he lost a step. Now, Paul, you have been known to be a DJ Reader fan. A little bit, slight. How would you feel if DJ came back home? I'm all for it. I would like it, but where were you at? And what do you think about him have lost a step?
I think both things can be true, but also another thing that can be true is he's still a decent player, and he could well be better than TJ Slayton still. So I'm a bit, even though I love DJ Reader and I would happily live, he's so massive, I would happily live in amongst his bodily parts. Sorry, that sounds weird. Let's just gloss over that show. But no, he's a great player, great guy. Obviously, he was fantastic for us. Yeah. He was good in Detroit, but I think he got a lot of flack from the Lions.
He did. The fans gave him crap. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it myself just because Duke came out and said, he was conscious of not trying to, kind of bring back the Super Bowl team and maybe, and Slayton wasn't that bad, but I don't know. If you're being ruthless, then absolutely, I think that Reader's better than TJ Slayton for sure.
Josh here says Robinson was released as another option, which that's there are other guys out there that they could get. The thing for me is that I've heard rumors about in Joe, if I'm saying this right, the tight end out of Cleveland. And he has made his appearance. Since I already played the intro for you, I'm just going to bring Cap up. He doesn't even get his intro. He gets brought up here.
So he's much cooler than me. He's in a car and he's like.
And he can't hear us. Yeah, and I don't think he can hear us right now. So he's out in Arizona.
What do I think about Njoku?
What do you think about Njoku?
I've heard a few whispers that the Bengals might be looking at tight ends as well, which is quite an interesting under the radar position. Njoku, I think that's starter level quality money that he'll probably be after. $9 million or so. I think it's according to Spot Track. I think if we're going to go tight ends, someone like a Chig Okonkwo might be a little bit more in our wheelhouse because he's going to be playing complementary to Gesicki, isn't he?
But the thing is, the Joker is more of an actual tight end. I mean, I hate when people say Gesicki's not a tight end. He plays tight end. He just doesn't block.
He's sort of hybrid tight end, slot receiver, whatever you want to call
it. Could be more of the all around tight end because I mean Eric All can totally fill that tight end spot if he's healthy. That's the problem. We don't know how healthy he is. I mean, you won't find out, and if he can stay healthy. I mean, if Eric All he's a local kid, I would love for him to be able to come and play a full season healthy because when he was on the field,
can't hear anything. You guys can hear me. I cannot hear a thing. Hold on.
We can hear you, Cap.
We can hear you. Son. We can hear you, brother. He's driving. But yeah, I Here, I'll just bring Cat back on in a minute when he figures this out. But yeah, so that's where the tight end thing, I do think it's in play, and it would be something that if they went and gotten the Njoku, but to me, it's over. Not I won't say overextending, but doing something we wouldn't expect the Bengals to do, because I didn't really think tight end was in play as far as free agency go. I thought it might be more something they address in the draft, which just still might if they don't get the Njoku. But to be mentioned in the running, that's pretty. That means they're and they've been mentioned in a lot of stuff. Which I know people like, oh well, I don't want to get participation trophies. I don't either. But to me, at least, it means the Bengals are out there. Because last year, Paul, they were stuck on the Jamar T, and they're trying to do that whole contract negotiation at this time last year, and we didn't sign anybody else. TJ Slayton and Oren Burke were the only ones we got at this time last year. Now we ended up getting Noah Fant and Reiser later on in the summer, but during the big time free agency, we didn't do a whole lot. Now this year, we got two, I think, solid starters on the defense and spots that we need in edge and safety. If thank God we finally got a safety who can tackle. So that's where I like hearing that they're talking to other people. So I mean that means they're working the phone. So
yeah,
that's what I'm happy about with that. I want them to complete some stuff. I want to get a linebacker and maybe another edge or an interior defense lineman here. That's what I like to see happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's been a slower day today, but we shouldn't be disheartened with that. There's probably a lot of talking going on, as you say. There's a lot of, chit chat behind the scenes, a lot of discussions and negotiations happening at the moment. So again, patience is always a virtue in these sort of situations, and there's still a lot of really good players out there. Yeah, I don't know. It's the Bengals have a habit in free agency, don't they, of filling holes apart from one or two, and then they're sort of backed into a corner
and they have to do it. Yeah, that's what I don't want them to do. And
no, but
so
yeah. So far, I mean, you would expect. So we've got an edge. Whether we've had two edges leave us, Trey, and which is another interesting tangent.
He still hasn't signed yet. Are you surprised by that? This is my whole thing with Trey. I think his agent has screwed this up from the get-go. From when he signed that second contract with the Bengals, which was a great contract for the Bengals, when they signed that screwed everything up, because he should have, if he wanted big money, that's when he should have said, all right, well, I want to wait for the big money, not sign a team-friendly deal. And from then on, it's just been a circus. I think as far as his agent goes.
I mean, I don't want to do Trey down too much because I think he's an all-time Bengals.
Yeah, I love Trey. I'm not blaming Trey. I'm blaming his agent.
No. But his agent is patently not very good at agenting, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because it's very fashionable, and Lord knows I do it as well, but to bash the Bengals. But they might have actually come out of this a little bit better than Trey. Now, they did screw up a little bit. They let him walk for nothing, and that could have been sorted out a couple of years ago. But on the other side of things, everything that you hear from all the beat writers saying he's a bit of a tricky character to deal with. He's quite full on, quite intense, quite no compromise. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for us to say, but Trey's been brilliant for us. I think if you were to name an all-time Bengals team, he would be in it. Yeah. Certainly the best free agency signing we've ever made. And yet, the reports are that he's asking for $30 million a year, and teams just aren't willing to give a 31-32-year-old guy just coming off the back of an injury-riddled season that amount of money. I mean, Houston giving Danielle Hunter sort of $40 million a year is not going to help his situation, frankly. Yeah. That was just a ludicrous contract for him. But fair play to Danielle, right?
Hey, he got it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hate on him for getting it. He got it. It's just way too much.
So, yeah, I mean, we asked on our podcast, is there a way, is there a possibility that Trey could be back with the Bengals next year?
I said the same thing.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I think the bridges have been burnt on that one. But certainly, I think Trey's got to make a decision. And, there was a report earlier on social media saying that the Bills are in for kind of interested in chatting to him. He'll want to go to a contender. I just hope he doesn't end up at the Ravens or the Browns.
Well, that's the thing. That's one good thing about, I guess, the Ravens Ratbirds getting Max Crosby. They don't need Trey. The Browns don't need Trey. The Steelers don't need him. So, not saying that couldn't happen, and that's the thing I don't want to happen. But I have not heard anything about him going to. I've heard the Buccaneers. I've heard the Bills. Stuff like teams like that.
Basically,
So,
if Trey is willing to compromise, right, Jeff, and he's willing to come down to 2025, I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that would be interested. But yeah, I think he's burnt his bridges with the Bengals. Good luck to him. I think he's one of the team's all-time greats. Hello from Trafford. Hello, Gold 3N God 95.
From Trafford, Manchester. There you
go.
Nice
one. One of ours.
You know where that is, don't you?
I do indeed. But yeah, no, it's a weird one. But the fact is, we've lost Trey, one pass rusher, and we've lost Osai, another pass rusher. So we do need some more. We need to stock up on the defensive line, and we also need some juice at defensive tackle. I'm sure everyone in this chat acknowledges that.
And we need a linebacker. Linebacker is one that I at this point. To me, I would like to get an edge. Linebacker is more important right now, I think, because we need that veteran. I want a veteran starting linebacker or a linebacker that could start in that room. That's what I think we need, and that's where.
Yeah, I mean, I everyone's mentioned the names here: Leo Chenal and Caden Ellis. I like Ellis. I think as a, but then again. Chenal is probably in the Bengals sort of optimum free agent profile. He's on his second contract. He's still relatively young. He's not going to cost the earth. He isn't necessarily a starter, but he could take that next step. He offers you a lot of versatility. I like Ellis for the same reasons, but he's slightly different and certainly older. So yeah, but it just shows you, doesn't it? There are a lot of holes on this roster, and someone asked earlier how much cap space we've got left. I think it's 30.5 million or something like that. But
I don't something like that.
You can take 10 mil off that because they always like to leave 10 mil kind of like as a surplus, kind of for sundries and whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So 20 million. I mean, if they wanted more, they could quite easily restructure Burrow's contract. But that would be nice. But they won't because they don't like doing that.
And the thing is, Paul, the crazy thing is they don't even have to ask Joe to do it. He's already got it in his contract that if they want to restructure it, they have his permission. So it's crazy to not even consider that. But I mean, if the Bengals want to go all in, like they said, and maybe go out and overpay for some of these guys, which they might have to do, that would be one way to do it. And like I said, it doesn't. It wouldn't. It would be sorry, cap or nothing.
And in the lead up to this free agency period, you could see it all over Twitter where such and such has kind of restructured this contract or converted this base salary into or kind of salary bonus into this and moving money around different pots. And the Bengals just don't do that. And I wish they did a little bit. They are so wedded to their kind of way of working. It's sometimes infuriating, but they've got their reasons. So
most of the time, it's infuriating, especially for us Bengals.
Yeah, 100%.
What they had to me yesterday is I really wanted them to sign JFM. I didn't really think they would, but I was holding out hope that they would. I kept waiting for that one, and then like I kept watching all these other guys go, and we're an hour into it. I'm like, I do this every year. I'm like, I'm not gonna get mad. We're an hour into it. Damn it! Are we going to sign somebody?
And then, I know it's so easy to get FOMO, isn't it? When you're talking about free agency, do you know what I mean? It is. You just have to go all Yoda and kind of practice patient and go all kind of Jedi and say this is going to happen. It's going to be cool. It's a marathon, Jeff, not a sprint. Let's be cool about this.
I'll try.
Let's be cool, honey bunny. Let's be cool.
Hey, Ronnie says he's got a Bengal UK flag in his car.
Wow, that's cool, Ronnie.
There you go.
Now that's also the big question this year. Will the Bengals be coming back over this side of the pond, Jeff?
I don't know. Hey, you never. Well, Atlanta, we are supposed to play in Atlanta, and Atlanta is going somewhere overseas. I saw that. I don't know if it's in
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Gold, you want to know where you get the Bengals UK flag at?
You can't really at the moment. I mean, we make our own. Gold, you really should follow us on various social media. Bengals UK on Facebook. We're on Twitter, @UK. Bengals _UK on Instagram. We do meetups. We do podcasts every week. We've been going for 11 years. So come on, man. Where have you been all my life? Come on. Obviously in Trafford, Manchester. But yeah, in terms of flags, we don't actually do any merch because we've got the Bengals logo in our logo, and we're not allowed to sell anything because of copyright. So
no, Paul, nobody watches this podcast anyway. It'll be our little secret. No, we just sell it to them. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ken here says, I agree. Let's give the front office some kudos. They were taking big swings, and that's kind of where I'm at with them. They are trying, and like I said, I don't think they're done yet. I do think they're going to sign a couple more guys here. I do think it's going to be a linebacker. I know Leo Chanel. So we said the Chiefs are trying to resign, which of course they're trying to resign. Their own guy. Chiefs are losing a lot of their players. Their secondary is decimated, especially if we get Leo Chanel, then that's let's see here. That'd be what 4 Super Bowl rings that we
added. And that's the kind of guy that you want to sign, right? Guys with winning experience who know how to win, who know how to gut it out, who know how to put everything on the line to get that result. And like you say, it's fashionable to bash the Bengals front office, and as I say, they deserve a lot of it.
Oh yeah,
but equally, when they fair play to them, they're having a crack at it, and but in their way. And if someone just asked about grades, I hate giving grades. It's like after one day, Ronnie. Come on now, man.
Well, I get like after one day for a 1 day grade, I gave him a A yesterday for a 1 day grade for first day out the chute. That's what I'm going at.
Okay, now, just now, 1 day, I'll give it a B plus. I'll give it a B plus.
Yeah, there you go. So today,
but
if they don't do anything, they're gonna F.
I mean, the thing that I was really gutted about the fact that we weren't as aggressive. Well, who knows? Actually, this is the thing with free agents. You just don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? So, I really wanted Minkah Fitzpatrick. I thought he would be an absolute game changer. And to see him go for a 7th, that was just unbelievable. I know. I'm like, dude, I would have given
a 7th up for him.
I came into free agency yesterday, Jeff, like absolutely steaming. I was like, old man shaking fist at a cloud. Yeah, and then later on, I found just as I was going to bed, right, that we were one of 3 teams that in for Devin Lloyd, and I thought, God, if we
that would have been nice.
If we'd have signed Devin Lloyd, that would have been a pretty big statement, and I would have taken, if I was wearing a hat, I would have doffed it to the front front office. That would have been a real statement, but unfortunately, he chose, Carolina. But
unfortunately.
But again, at least we're in for them. So like I say, Chanel would be great. I like Caden Ellis. There's a few linebackers out there still.
One thing Kenny Ronnie brought it up here. He says, he worked with that's not it. He worked with 3 Seattle fans, so we got a really good player, which I've heard too. Kenny put this up here. He said, I wonder how free agency signings affects their draft board, which I kind of brought this up yesterday with us signing of an edge and signing of a safety. Does this put Peter Woods more of the guy they're going to go after? I still think, because I think I'm kind of with Dale from Bengals Brews said this yesterday. He thinks Caleb Downs is probably going to go to Kansas City because they lost their safeties. And they signed a running back. So they need a safety there. I think it's going to be either Baines or Wood is what I think. And my heart, if Baines is there, I have a hard time not seeing Duke Tobin take Baines because he has said so much or put so much of an emphasis on pass rush, which I know Woods can give you a pass rush too, but Baines could be a game changer, and you could kick Shamar Stewart inside a little bit more, and that could be your push up the middle there. But what's your thoughts on what they've done so far? Do you think it changes what they've done at 10? Does it open the board up a little bit more at 10?
I think again, I prefer to judge it a bit closer to the draft when this first week is done, Jeff, because I do think they'll get a linebacker. I do think maybe Logan Hall comes into the equation.
Yes,
there,
I'm glad you brought that. That's another guy. That's their interior lineman I was thinking about. Sorry.
So yeah, I think as I said, the Bengals, like, if you look at how they've approached free agents in the last 5 or 6 years, they've filled as many holes as they deem necessary, but they've always left one thing open, which tends to back them into a corner. You talk to any of the guys, your Joe Burrow, your beat writers, whatever.
Cheers, brother. Cheers,
mate. And they always, Nate said there in the chat, they need to just go for best player available. That's what the draft is all about. That's the you just go for doesn't matter whether it's tight end, cornerback, offensive tackle's not being talked about enough, I don't think, at this stage. But yeah, if the two, our needs and the best player kind of miraculously aligned, then of course it's happy days, right? And what that means is you're looking at a Reuben Bain, I believe. I don't think Caleb Banks is a 10 player. I don't think he's a first round player, although people will be tempted by his measurables.
Yeah.
For me, and Keldrick Falk is basically Shamar Stewart Mark II. So yeah, I like Peter Woods just because I'm tantalized by the idea of he's not another Geno Atkins, obviously, but he's that type of player, and we've not had someone like that for a long time. But yeah, for me, it's Reuben Bain. I mean, I put on Twitter yesterday rather naughtily. Imagine if we, Boye Mafe, Shamar Stewart, Miles Murphy, and then you add Reuben Bain into that mix. That's a pretty sexy quartet.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Wouldn't mind spending an evening with. But yeah, so of course, whatever they do in free agency will affect their draft board. It's just a case of there's a lot of stuff to go, isn't there, Jeff? Because Peter Woods at the moment is like down in sort of the bottom area of that.
Right.
First round.
Well, he's getting his pro day next week. That could change.
So he could shoot up.
That could shoot up too. Now this is another one and I heard this a lot yesterday. Not that the Bengals would trade for him, but Jalen Carter was on the block, which I don't know if he still is or not since they lost Phillips yesterday. Yeah. But I know Malik Wright was talking about it on his show earlier today, which I would be all for getting Carter, but I don't know what they would want for him. I would give up 10 in a heartbeat. to get
it's an interest. It's always the way, isn't it? It's always, what would you do as opposed to what the Bengals would do? Because they have a very, very established pattern of working, and they don't do this kind of thing, Jeff. You should know this.
But they could change, Paul. I keep praying about it, and they could change. Okay.
All right.
They have changed.
Here's a question: do you think pressure from fans will make them change their?
I think pressure from fans and media and everything else has made them change. Because let's be honest. In the last 10 years, they've changed a lot. They had a long ways to go, but they've changed a lot. Dude, I remember when I didn't pay attention to free agency because we're not signing anybody. We would never sign anybody. Now I'm like, I'm pissed we don't sign anybody in the first day. So that changed. So they have changed. Again, not enough yet. They still need to be able to restructure contracts and get a little closer to salary cap and actually be able to be like every other NFL team, be able to negotiate salary cap. I don't know. Have a cap guy that's just his job. Is to help navigate the salary cap. That's what a lot of people do too.
Yeah.
So I can add more scouts. There's stuff I can go on and on about that they still need to do, but they have changed. So that's where I'm like, when people say that they're stubborn, they're stubborn, they're cheap. I'm like, I get tired of that narrative, especially the whole cheap thing, because I'm like, I don't necessarily think they're cheap. I think they're smart with their money sometimes. A lot of times, because
they're too smart with their money. They're too smart. They're too
yes and no, because I go back to the T. Higgins contract and Jamar Chase contract where they cost themselves twice as much money on both those guys if they would just sign them earlier. So yes and no. Okay.
Yeah, basically what they don't do is you look at pretty much everyone around the league. They do not pull the levers, the easy levers that other clubs do to free up cap space to help them in the long run,
Right.
But there we go. We know what it is, and there's no point. Well, sometimes there is a point chatting about, but this is why free agency is quite interesting.
Mhm.
Like you said, they have changed, and they are going for it a little bit more this year, it seems. But to me, you look at look at the safety position ever since Jesse Bates. They've tried to replace him with Nick Scott. That didn't work. They tried to replace it with Geno Stone, which, all on the back, I'm pretty certain of a good game against the Bengals where he intercepted Joe Burrow. That's not how you should be hiring your players. So I think that they are, I don't know, they seem to be taking things a bit more seriously. Not that they don't, but you know what I mean? In certain positions, we have to pay for quality, right? We have to pay for quality.
What they just paid Cook is, and people get mad about this, but it's true. It's what they could have paid Jesse Bates 3 years ago. But 3 years ago, that would have set the market. But 3 years later, it's a pretty damn good deal. That's where the Bengals would have to change, or where they're spending like they just wouldn't re-sign Dalton Risner. I know it wasn't a huge contract, but it's a guard that they went out and prioritized. They didn't. Two positions they didn't prioritize ever: guards and safety. They signed a guard and free agent, and they signed a safety. So again, they're changing, just not as much as we want. And it's because I think unfortunately, they're learning the hard way. They losing Jesse Bates, but I mean, honestly, losing of Jesse Bates, I think was bigger than any of us Bengals fans even realized. I wanted them to sign him, but I'm like, all right, we got Dax Hill. They at least are going to replace him with him, and he's going to work out. Well, that didn't work out at all. But Jesse Bates was such a big component of that Super Bowl run, that AFC Championship run, bigger than I think the Bengals realized and bigger than us fans realized. Now, Lou and Arumo, I think he knew it the whole time because Lou said it'd be a dark day if he lost both of them, and he lost.
And he did,
he lost both.
Well, I think the key thing there is that I learned something like you. I was on the podcast saying that actually, safety isn't a premium position, and do I want to spend that amount of money? I'm not sure. Blah blah. Great player, great guy, yada yada yada. But actually, I think you just retain your good players, right?
That would be.
And he's gone on to be an all-pro down in Atlanta. The latest.
I mean, he should have been all-pro for Cincinnati. I mean,
100%.
That's
especially his last year.
That's just the Cincinnati disrespect we get from the league. That is a factual thing. I don't care what anybody says. Mike Brown has pissed too many people off that they won't vote for his players or anything. I think so. Let's see here. Your buddy from here, God said, sorry, I had to pause and come back to reply, but I followed the Twitter as that is the only social I use. But I have looked at, started listening to Bengals UK podcast. There you go. See, how much I got you.
There you go.
There you go. That's what we do.
Drop us a DM, Gold, and we'll have a little chat. Yeah, and
there you go. So, keep on.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'd say free agency is exciting. It's great that Bengals were involved yesterday. I think you expect them to be involved in the next sort of week or so. I don't know, Jeff, how many more players do you think they will sign?
I'm hoping at least two more. One for sure is a linebacker, and either an interior defensive lineman like Hall from Tampa Bay, or an edge, which I think the edge market's kind of getting a little thin there. I think, but I'll be mad if they don't sign a linebacker. That's right. I've kind of changed because I'll be honest. At the beginning of this, I didn't think the Bengals would really be in the linebacker market because they usually like their guys, and they put 2 draft picks in starting linebackers last year. Normally, Bengals like that. We like our guys, but to hear that they were in the Devin Lloyd, they're in for Chanel, they were in for Bush, they were in these conversations. They're still in Chanel. Hopefully, we'll get him. That they're in these, they're actively trying to get a linebacker. That makes me think that they're right now, since the people they got yesterday, they're making that a priority to get a linebacker. And that's where now it depends how committed they are, because I think they might be getting into a bidding war. How bad do they want it? How high are they willing to go? And that's where I think we're at here now with Chanel, because I think he's the best linebacker left out there. So we'll have to see what happens. And Normally, Bengals don't like getting the bidding wars, but again,
they have been in bidding wars, Jeff. I mean, they were in the bidding war for Devin Lloyd, and
but they don't win them. But they don't win them. I'll put that. That's kind of where
that was. I heard that a few people talk about the Bengals. This may be absolute bollocks, but the Bengals bid for Devin Lloyd was extremely competitive, i.e.,
that's what I heard too.
One of the best out there. But so he just chose the Panthers not for any other reason because that was a fit for him, And sometimes there's nothing you can do about that, really.
Right.
But Ryan's right. We need a wide receiver 3. We need some OL.
That one, I honestly think the wide receiver 3. I think that is going to be in the draft. That's where I think that they're going to address that because one thing the Bengals are good at is drafting wide receivers. They can and late rounds, early rounds, they can draft wide receivers. So I think that's going to be addressed in the draft. And what I was going to say too is, and people kept asking me like, why are you? I was pretty confident that the Bengals were going to go pretty heavy into free agency, and people are like, why are you confident in that? I'm like, they don't have a choice. Because what they've done the last couple of years is put them in this position that there's so many holes on the defense. You cannot fill it through the draft, which they tried to do that last year. So they tried it through the draft last year. It did not work. The only other thing to do to not completely piss off your fan base, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, your
you saw Jamar's
to go deep into free agency.
You saw Jamar's reaction to the Crosby trade.
I did. I heard it.
That was quite. But then again, look at Ravens. They I think someone just said it in the chat that they've probably blown pretty much their entire budget on getting Crosby in. So
that's what they lost 10 people.
It's a difficult balance to strike. They decided to swing big for Crosby. Don't know.
It's like one player lost 7. There you go. See?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what one thing I'll ask you this because my favorite daughter-in-law, once my only daughter-in-law, so she's my favorite. But once Max got traded to the Ravens, she texted me and she said, "Oh, the Bengals are so screwed." And I'm like, one player does it. I'm like, and this is what I've said, like, no team scares me. If the Bengals can fix this defense, which I believe they can, there isn't a team out there that scares me. As long as we can stop them, they're not stopping us. I mean, they might stop us occasionally, but we're going to, most of the time it comes to outscoring, we're going to be able to outscore any defense. I don't care who it is. So that's where I'm like, I'm not scared of any team. I just want to be able to stop them. That's more, and the Ravens offense doesn't scare me at all because they lost likely now. They lost their best offensive receiver. So, I mean, their offense isn't going to be, I don't think, any better than.
I think you need to text your favorite daughter-in-law and say just 2 words: Amaris Mims. That's all you need to say.
Exactly. And there, somebody put the stats out there, and I don't have it in front of me, but I retweeted it. Amaris Mims stats versus Crosby. He does pretty good. The thing is, we got a pretty good. This is everything cracks. People are like, we got to fix this offensive line. Burrow keeps getting hurt. Burrow keeps getting hurt because, unfortunately, Burrow gets hurt easily. Like, I've come to that point in my life. Joe Burrow just gets hurt. It is what it is. This offensive line, toward the end of the year last year, was playing excellent. And, like I said, oh, my goodness, why can't I think of his name?
Which guy?
The Bengals offensive lineman, the radio broadcaster, Dave.
Lapham.
Dave Lapham. Wow.
Yeah.
They're getting old, and I just forget people's names.
Mate, I'm with you there. Don't worry about it.
Dave Lapham has said this a million times, and he's forgot more stuff about offensive lines than I have. It's like a fist. You got to have all 5 guys going in the same direction at the same time and doing their job.
And they finally found that last year, right? They finally found that, the fist of fury.
Yeah. And having the same 5 guys, as long as they're healthy, knock on wood, we're going to have the same 5 guys for the first time in Joe Burrow's career. So the offensive line is going to be pretty good, I think.
Yeah, there are positives on this roster. And, positives, if you were coming up to the midway point of last season, that even you wouldn't have imagined Miles Murphy taking the step forward like he did in that back end of last year. I see someone mention Orlando Brown. He had a good second half of the season. He wasn't so great in the first half. But, it seemed like the whole team, like, got their asses kicked and started to perform. This is the thing with this team. I found. I think everyone will acknowledge this. I'd like them to look at Chiga Okonkwo as well. Easy for me to say after about half a bottle of rum, but anyway, there we go.
Why is the rum always gone? Sorry.
I don't know. Well, I as I say, I had a rum and coke when we recorded our podcast earlier, and I went for an O'Malley's type of pour, which was probably too big.
But by the way, I've been drinking Guinness. Now I quit. I still drink beer, but I quit drinking alcohol. But I've been drinking Guinness non-alcoholic, and I've been pouring it into a can and doing videos for you, and you haven't commented.
I'm not seeing them. I'm not seeing them, Jeff. Honestly,
I'll have to make sure I tag you next time. I'll do a pour tonight. I'll make sure I tag you so you can see it. Check out my pour.
What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. Something really interesting, no doubt. But there's a lot of holes. But I think Orlando Brown, the whole team. My thing is that it often takes this team half a season to figure it out. And that's, I think, for me, that's the most frustrating thing. We talk about the slow starts, which naturally, coaches and players are focused on. And I don't think it's anything. I don't know. People have said it's Joe Burrow getting kind of match fitness. That's probably true. But what if it isn't? What if they haven't come up with the right game plans? What if they haven't come up with the schemes correctly? Because they always seem to have to change it halfway through the season. You know what I mean? And then we get cooking. Then we start going for it.
Well, they did start 2-0 last year. If Burrow doesn't get hurt, it could be a different story. So I mean,
we played so bad in that.
We did. And the thing is, I'll give Trags credit for this. He said this on my show last week, talking about Montgomery and how the way he teaches offensive line is different than the way the guy's been taught in the past. It's more hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. And it took a little while for the guys to understand and buy in to what he's saying. But Dalton Reisner, if you go back to his press conference, loves Montgomery, loves what he does. And he said, this is his 8th year in the league. And, you don't usually get any better. He goes, but I did, which Dalton Reisner did get better. He got better at his run blocking. We always thought he'd be a good pass blocker, but he actually improved on his run blocking, and he attributes that to Montgomery. So that's where, or I keep saying, that's not his name. I keep saying Montgomery. That's not our offensive line coach's name.
Scott Peters.
Scott Peters. I don't know why I have Montgomery in my head. Scott Peters. Yeah. He attributes that to Scott Peters. Montgomery's our defensive line coach. Anyway, he attributes all that stuff to Scott Peters. And to me, that says a lot about, and that kind of goes to how the offensive line started out looking terrible to the end of the season. They're looking pretty good. Now you got another whole off season, the same guys. It should be even better this year. Like I said, as long as they all stay healthy. I got to put that out there.
Breaking news, Jeff. Caden Ellis, one of my circled guys, is signing with the Saints. So Atlanta to New Orleans. Has he got no shame? Goodness me. I'm a bit gutted about that. I really wanted Caden Ellis. Well, yeah. So the door is absolutely. If it was a little bit ajar, it's now wide open for Leo Chenal. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that, because Caden Ellis was one of the next best.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just checking Twitter here. Yep. Okay. So hopefully by the time the night's over, we are talking about Chanel. That would be that to me. That's the next one that they need to have. So
yeah, I think a veteran linebacker. I mean, how veteran would you go, Jeff?
I mean, I would go. I mean, as far if you don't get Chanel, I take. This is
would you go Bobby Wags? Would you go B Wags? Would you go B Wags?
That's where I was going. I would take a linebacker, veteran linebacker who could start, but you don't need him to start. And that would be Bobby Wagner, I think. And a veteran guy like that could help develop our young linebackers. If you don't get Chanel, that's the way I think they should pivot to do that. They got to add some kind of veteran to that room. They have to at all costs. They got to add somebody that will help make an impact. I mean, would you?
Not sure. I mean, there was a lot of noise around Demarais Davis, wasn't there? But he was 37. B-Wags is I think he's 68 now, isn't he, or something like that. But I don't know. Like you say, if it's just a 1-year deal to really get those young guys up to speed, Knight and Carter, then I know it's a tricky one. Again, the Bengals very rarely go for that sort of player, but
like
again,
Josh said, Wagner scored an upper 80s.
Yeah, I mean, he's still playing very well.
Yeah,
as
I mean,
Demarais
and Bobby
Davis,
Wagner could come here and start. I mean, that's he could, like I said, a guy.
Well, I would like him to start. I would like if they're going to sign a veteran linebacker, I would sign him as a starter.
Yeah,
and yeah, I don't know. Greenlaw's an interesting guy.
Yep,
That's just been mentioned in the chat, and also Javon Hargrave as well. He's another older 30-plus guy that's still a good player.
Tom here says SportsCenter just mentioned 6 teams interested in Trey.
Yeah.
Buffalo now in the market creating cap space. Yeah, which I mean,
yeah, I mean they've gone Bosa. They went Bosa last year, didn't they? So and they've gone Von Miller before. So they've got no.
I wanted to go to the NFC. I'm hoping for the Buccaneers. That's another team I heard.
Yeah, and he's a Florida guy, right? Or at least he's got
a house down there.
So.
Yeah.
So that makes absolute sense, really. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few players still getting out there. Obviously, they weren't looking at Ellis, or maybe they were. But you have to say Chenal is the favorite now.
Yeah, but it's him, or you're going to an older linebacker. Like I said, they got to add somebody to that room. They have.
Yeah, they need to. I mean, I banged the table for Demetrius Knight. I have to hold my hands up. I did. That's the kind of evaluation prowess that I.
I mean, I'm not out on Knight. I mean, I just thought. I mean, I was with Dale. I thought Knight could have been a 3rd round pick. That's kind of where.
Yeah.
I was out. I just wouldn't have.
But they made such huge mistakes both last year.
There's so many guys that could have drafted last year.
Yeah.
Just in the first 2. Just in the first.
Yeah, so I think they do need. I mean, hopefully they'll be better. I mean, you hope that this is the problem as well with Duke's drafting. Myles Murphy took 3 years or so to really come on. You hope that's not the case with Shamar Stewart, but it looks like it might be. You look at Chris Jenkins and McKinley Jackson; they're going to take another couple of years to really come on, unless something seriously happens.
They're not 1st round picks. Those you understand. It's the 1st round picks. We don't need developmental guys. We need impact 1st, 2nd round picks.
Well, I
want impact players.
But that's my point, Jeff. Duke seems to go with a certain type of player that takes 3 years to develop into decent players. Like you say, we need. I know it's hard. I know it's kind of, a bit of a crapshoot and all at the end of the day. But it's the type of players they draft, and that needs to change. That's another element of change that needs to happen.
Oh, but things are changing, and hopefully we will get a linebacker before the night's over. Paul, I appreciate you been on for 53 minutes. I know you got to go finish your own podcast. I appreciate you jumping on at short notice. Cap's on vacation. He'll be back on Monday.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm really happy to stand in, and hope I haven't talked too much nonsense.
No,
thanks for tuning in.
You're always welcome. Always welcome.
I need to just real quick, Jeff. Moreline. It's not Moreline anymore.
No, they changed the name this week. It's the Lager House Cincinnati is what they changed it to. So it's gonna be the same beer and everything. So it's the same restaurant.
Why have they dropped the name Moreline? It's like pretty historic.
Well, because I think they are breaking away from Moreline to have their own, establish their own brand.
Is the lovely Taylor still there?
Yeah, no, she has not. I saw her. She's at a different restaurant. I know where she is though. I can show you which restaurant she's at though. She told me she might come back though. So maybe when you come back in town, are you guys planning on coming to a game this year?
All being well, it's going to be yes. Is the short answer, but obviously, things. I don't know. It just depends on the international games. It's really interesting. I want to just a quick question to you and your crew here. International games. How do you feel about them? How do you? I know everyone's like into free agency and draft chat at the moment, but just conceptually, international games, would you come to one? Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Would you? How do you feel about? Because it seems to be the NFL is edging towards a 16 international games. There's 9 this year, which is crazy.
They're gonna have one every week.
They're going to have one every week, absolutely. Yeah. So every team in this league is going to be playing abroad every season. So, what do you think? It's a bit of a mad one, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, you asked if I would go to one. Yes, I would. I would love to go to one, especially over there in England. And since I especially got to know a couple of you guys, from doing this show, I just probably can't afford it.
Yeah,
it is the cheapest thing. Yeah, I have a hard time affording to go to Arizona to watch the Reds in spring training. So going to England is probably.
And I think that
I would love to do it.
It's actually, you made a really good point. Thanks for being so honest, because following sports at this level, especially in the US, is really expensive, and also in the UK as well. Yeah. You get a season ticket for a Premier League team. It's really, we're talking thousands of pounds, not just hundreds. So I'm always wary of that. I mean, from a selfish level, I'm hoping that the Bengals are over here this year, because it's 10 years since they played Washington at Wembley. So if the NFL had any kind of marketing nous or kind of brain, which they obviously don't, it would, what a great thing. It's like a 10-year rematch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but I also agree with Cincy Pork Chop, as much as I would much rather come to Cincinnati and watch a game. That's been one of the pleasures of my lifetime, coming over to see you guys. So hopefully we'll be over this season. We'll see, but hopefully we'll be over.
That would be awesome. Make sure you definitely stop by the tailgate there at the Lager House and come see me. But plug some stuff before I let you go there, Paul.
Okay, so again, we are all across social media at @Houday_UK on the Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Sorry.
We all call it Twitter.
Facebook Bengals UK, Blue Sky as well, because a bunch of people are on that now. Instagram, we've got a new episode of the podcast. I'm just going to finish. We've got Robin Burrow as a special guest this week for our International Women's Day themed episode. So yeah, it continues, Jeff. You know what it's like. The grind continues, but it's so much fun. I love sort of hooking up with you and all my American friends. So here we go. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling. It's the free agency and the draft.
Let's go.
We get a week or so. And then you must be super excited because opening day is pretty soon.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I'll be doing a live broadcast outside the Lager House for opening day.
Mate, so. I do admire you, and you're just so great at doing your stuff, mate. So
I appreciate
much respect to you, my brother.
All right, brother. Well, cheers. Thanks for joining. And
always, anytime, mate. And all the best to everyone that's tuned in. Thanks for sticking with me. Cheers.
Yes, sir. Take it easy. See ya. All right, guys. As always, I hope you enjoy. Go check out Paul and all the guys at Bengals UK. They do a great job. And hey, he's got Robin Burrow. I haven't gotten Robin Burrow yet, so good get Paul. I very proud and jealous because I want to get Robin Burrow too. That'd be awesome. Or Joe. Joe, if you're watching, you can come on too. Anytime. You know.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Party Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping requires. Think Party Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
And as always, shout out to all my great sponsors, Meyer Window, Door, More, Priority Lawn and Landscaping, T Properties, The Lager House, Cincinnati. It's actually Lager House, Cincinnati, not The Lager House. Lager House, Cincinnati. Make sure you guys go down there and check them all out. Tell them Ice sent you. I would greatly appreciate it. The Cincinnati Reds right now are winning bottom of the ninth, 8-1. The University of Cincinnati Bearcats won earlier today. It was 73-66 over the Utah Utes. They're going on and playing another game tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Need to win 3 games, I think, to get into this NCAA tournament, because if they don't get in, I do think Wes is gone, or at least he should be gone. We'll see if he does. But as always, thanks for watching. I'm a live show on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, Instagram. You can follow me on all those, along with Threads and TikTok. Do me a favor, check out my Substack. I haven't written anything in a little while, but I plan on it, which I might be home sitting in my chair for a while, because like I said, I got a pinched nerve in my back, so maybe I'll do some writing here in the next couple of days, talk about the Bengals free agency. Make sure you check all that out, and also check out the podcast. It'll be on later on tonight. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Do me a favor, listen to it, rate it, like it, review it, leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. Leave a comment and a 5-star review just helps the algorithm, helps me out. Same thing with commenting on here, leaving thumbs up, hitting the bell for notifications, sharing the show out, all that stuff. I appreciate all 296 of you guys that are watching right now. You guys are awesome. Tomorrow we're going to do some draft stuff. I got Ian Cummings on coming on tomorrow. So we'll talk some draft. Hopefully we'll talk some more Bengals signings. Hopefully they'll have done some more stuff today. But overall, I'm happy with what the Bengals have done. I will be disappointed if we don't get a linebacker. Hopefully Chanel. That's who I'd like to get. That would be awesome. But we'll see what happens. Other than that, remember one thing and one thing only. That is Who Day for life. And remember, throw it up. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.